If you have the misfortune of being lost in the wilderness, what's the number one killer? It's not starvation. It's often not even dehydration. It's exposure to the elements. Today, we're going to look at a piece of equipment to help you out with that. Welcome to Huckleberry Bastion. The first line of defense against exposure, of course, is going to be your clothing. You should always wear the appropriate clothing for the climate and the season that you're out in the wilderness in. Your next line of defense against exposure to the elements is going to be, of course, a shelter. Now, if you have basic survival skills, one of the first things you should learn is how to build an adequate shelter. Now, a shelter is going to help you regulate your body temperature. It's going to keep you warm, it's going to keep you dry, and if you're in a hot environment, it's going to keep you cool. Now, you should be able to make a shelter using your skills, using the natural materials you find in the environment, but you always have the option of carrying a lightweight and portable shelter with you. So today, we're going to look at one of those shelters, and that is the Ultimate Survival Technologies Tube Tarp. The Ultimate Survival Technologies Tube Tarp comes in this orange carry bag. It's highly visible, so if you drop it, it's easy to find, and you could use it for signaling if you had to. It weighs about a pound and 12 ounces, or about 800 grams, which is just under a kilogram. In this configuration, it's about 15 inches across and about 4 inches in diameter, so it should be easy to pack. And now we're going to take a look at what's included. The carry bag for the entire system, the tarp itself, and then you have 3 guy lines, 2 single adjust guy lines, and 1 double adjust guy line. And this is going to be the ridge line for your tarp. You have 6 steel pegs or stakes, and also a bag to carry those in. I really like what they've done with the carry bag, is that they've included the instructions and the list of equipment inside on the tab here. So if you haven't had a lot of practice, or you're kind of in an emergency and you need to know how to put it together, you always have the instructions with you. It's here. It shows a couple different configurations that you can set the tarp up in. It even has instructions on how to tie the bowline knot, and care instructions, so you know how to take good care and keep it nice and clean when you're not out in the wilderness. Let's take a closer look at the tarp itself. It comes in this orange kind of emergency color, survival color, in case you need to use it for signaling or you want somebody to be able to spot you. Now, it's not quite as bright as I thought it would be. It's a bit duller than, say, this kind of blaze orange you have with the guy lines, but it should still be quite visible. It has, at all the corners and all the points where you would need to run your lines, these double-stitched loops, and that is way better than the cheaper tarps that just have a grommet in the plastic, because those grommets, they just pull right out and they're not strong at all. So we'll see how well these hold up under use. It has a zipper running down the middle right here that you just unzip. Now what that's for is it's for going from the tube tent configuration. You just unzip it, and then you can do more of a classic overhead tarp layout. Now on the inside, you can see it has this kind of silver aluminized surface, and what that's for is similar to the Mylar emergency blankets. It's going to reflect any kind of thermal heat back towards your body, so your body heat, or if you have a fire set up, it's going to reflect that heat back towards you and keep you nice and toasty. Also, apparently, I haven't tried this, but it says that you can use this, if you get it in the light, to be highly visible and reflective, and just judging from it right now, I'd say that's pretty correct. There are several different ways that you can utilize and set up this tarp, and we're going to take a look at a few of those today. The first and easiest way to use the tarp is simply as an emergency blanket. I'm just going to slip it over my head like a poncho. I've left it zippered together. pull it around yourself, and of course, keep your head covered. On the back of the carry bag, you can see it being used as a thermal blanket. And if you'll notice, the person is not covering their head. May not be pretty, but it should get the job done. The tarp can be used as a ground cloth like this. Now what a ground cloth is going to do is it's going to keep moisture from getting into your tent or shelter. And because of that aluminized layer, it's going to reflect again your body heat back at you. So instead of it going into the ground, it keeps you nice and warm. Now due to the constraints of the area I'm in, I have it kind of folded in half, but you can open it up and it's going to cover about 6 3/4 to 9.5 feet. Now we have the tarp set up in the tube tent configuration. It's about 7 feet long by roughly 3 feet wide and 3 feet high. Set up this way, you're covered overhead and also below, with only the two ends open. Now this is going to protect you from the elements above and also from losing heat to the ground below. In this configuration, you're going to have the zipper at the top. You'll see at the beginning there's a little loop and a hook to help keep your zipper from opening up, and also there's a flap that covers your zipper to keep everything nice and dry, and loops for your ridge line. One in the middle and one at both ends. Now with the tarp set up in a more classic tarp configuration, you have much more room to work on the inside. You could fit more than one person. But set up like this, you're going to have to either have a ground cloth or you're going to have to make bedding to keep you protected from the ground and from losing your heat into the ground. With this video, I just wanted to show you the basics of how you set the tarp up and of what's included with the package and just my preliminary opinions on it. It's not really a review, as I haven't had time to really put it to the test to try it out as a shelter, see if the zipper leaks or how durable the material is, or if the aluminized surface really does what it's supposed to and give you that insulative, reflecting the heat back at your body properties. I hope you've enjoyed my first initial look at the Ultimate Survival Technologies Tube Tarp. I hope to do some follow-up videos and put it to the test. Until then, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this initial look at the Ultimate Survival Technologies Tube Tent. It's not a tent. Stop calling it a tent.